Okay. And recording now. Sweet. Okay, so this week we're gonna get into merging data sets. We kind of have done the manipulating part with dplyr and the mutate, arrange, select, and filter functions. Um, and then this week we're going to be working more with sort of data frame management. And this type of stuff will be really useful for because when you find data on the internet, assuming you're asking a question that's worth kind of asking and kind of something that's new, it's probably going to be something that hasn't been looked at particularly. Maybe you're comparing things that haven't really been compared in this way before. So finding data for that, you're going to be combining things, right? Um, so knowing how to merge data sets is really nice to know. I don't know if anyone here has used SQL, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, SQL is like mainly doing this type of stuff and like doing queries and stuff like that. But it's sort of similar to that, but it's a little different in R. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so I have this sort of sheet that I used to, this is from the summer. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just going to kind of walk through this. I think that's how I want to do it today. So I'm going to click this, import the tidyverse. Then we're making two data frames. Doesn't really matter what these are saying, or don't concern yourself, I guess, with the syntax here. So you have this data frame. I printed it out here, and then we'll make a second one. Print it out here. So let's look at these up here. So we have 6 countries, their population in millions, and then in the other one we have 6 countries and then percent of population below the poverty line. I think that's as the poverty line as defined by the UN, I believe. I remember making that when I made this or whatever. Yeah, so then as we'll see later, it's important to know how many unique countries we have, because you'll notice if you look here, we've got US, China, Zimbabwe, Seychelles, UK, and Russia. And then the other one we have US, Ghana, China, Angola, Seychelles, and Russia. So we have different ones in either data set we have different countries, but some of them are the same. So we use this line. So unique tells me how many unique values are in. So I'll just show that. So we'll do 1, 3, 4, 5, 5, right? So now X is a vector with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and then if I use the unique function on X, it's only going to spit out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many unique values a vector has. So if I use that function on a concatenated vector of the countries from data frame 1, which that's what I called it up here. I called it data frame 1, and data frame 2. And I just look at the country columns from those 2 data frames. I can find out how many countries we have that are unique. Or, well, I mean, I would put length on the end of that to find the. Let's make that a different line actually. So we can copy and paste, do length at the front, because then we can list them all out, see them, and also find out how many there are, so we don't have to count them because I'm lazy. So yeah, so it looks like we have 8: US, China, Zimbabwe, Seychelles, UK, Russia, Ghana, Angola. So that's cool. So having the population in a data set, kind of useful. Having this over here is also kind of useful, but it'd be really cool if we could have them together, right? And again, thinking about this, just so you think, why am I teaching this? Why am I teaching this? I could just input all of these numbers all of these numbers into the first one. Why can't I just do that? Why can't I just add a column like with the mutate function? Well, imagine we have 1,000,000 observations. You don't want to do that, So it's all about the scalability idea that we've been talking about. So dplyr has functions called, and we can go back to the sheet here. So we have full join, inner join, left join, and right join. And I'll go through and I'll explain each one of these. It's kind of step by step, like each one, I'll just explain each one of them. So full join. So full join is going to join the two data frames we input using all of the keys that appear in either data set. And a key is an important, or an index. They're the same thing. That's an important bit here. So you'll see in this call of full join, I go by country, right? So that's what we're going to be indexing by, merging by. The sort of commonality between the two data frames is this country column. And I formatted it purposefully so that country is capitalized and it's the same column name. You might have to do that to make sure that it's the same, and then you can index by it, right? So it's important that you have some sort of link between the two data frames that you're going to be trying to merge. It's a really important thing. So yeah. So full join is going, so we're going to join the two data frames using all of the keys that appear in either data set. So we're going to be joining by some index, in this case country name, using all of the available country names. So all 8 of the unique country names that we have. So let's see that done here. So I'll open it. So we see here, we have all 8 country names now. We've got we knew the ones we had values for population in millions for. We have NAs that have been coerced because while Ghana appears in the second data frame, it does not appear in the first one. So we don't have any information in these data sets for how big the population of Ghana is. So when we full join it, we have NA there, right? So we're missing values, right? So whenever you see missing values, that's oftentimes in like data sets you find, that's often what is going on with that. Does this make sense? Does the full join kind of make sense?
Yeah, where is the worksheet that you have pulled up? What's the name of that?
DM2 supplement, I think it's called. It should be in the Canvas. Let's see. Why am I? Should be up under data management 2. Yeah, DM2 supplement PDF. It's right there. See that, Mason? Okay. Sweet. Yeah.
Yes.
So, sorry, do you have something else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so that's full join, right? So we're bringing, and so then also Zimbabwe and UK and the United Kingdom, they both appear in data frame 1. So we have numbers for their population in millions variable, but they do not appear in data frame 2. So we don't have the information for their percent population below poverty line. So then when we join them, we have NAs for them. While we have information for them and for their population, we don't have information for their population below the poverty line. Yeah. So that's full join. Next we have inner join. So what inner join is going to do, we'll go back to the thing. Inner join is going to, we only want to look at countries that we have information for both for, right? So what inner join does is joins the two data sets that we have, and only includes the ones where we have the index or the key for both data frames, right? So only the ones that appear both in data frame 1 and data frame 2 are going to appear. So when we run that, we only have, and we'll look at it down here, we only have the 4 countries that appear in both. So US, China, Seychelles, and Russia. One of these is not like the other. Yeah. So does that make sense? Does that kind of make sense? Yeah. And then for these last two, these do the same thing. I don't know why, honesty moment, opinion moment. I don't know why there's one for each of these because so what write data frame does is only takes the ones from the right one. So like you see in this input here, in this input, the first argument is df1, the second argument is df2. So this is only the ones from df2, right? And it also coerces the NAs as we see here for the ones that don't have information from the first one. But then left df or left join only takes the ones from the left one or the first one. So it's like first or second pretty much. But I could do the same thing as left join with right join if I just change the order of how I input them. Right? Then it's this, oh, I put df3. That doesn't exist. Can I type? Right? Like that's the same thing. But I mean, again, it's really important that you tell R where you're trying to pull this index from. And the index thing is probably the most important thing about all of this. And it's the sort of data frames, SQL. I've never used SQL for anything other than like trying to figure this stuff out. I think I used it when I was like doing this stuff, but this is kind of like, it's like a subsect of this whole data science thing. So I don't know. But yeah, so this is, I mean, and this is a really, because I made this data, right? Like the hard part of all of this comes from the stuff not being formatted in a really nice, clean way, right? Like it's pretty clear what, like all these country names are in the same, they have the USA is called USA in both, right? It's not United States or US or something else. Like a lot of work goes into prepping data sets using these tools, and a lot of the like hard work and the like monotonous work comes in when, let's say you've got an international relations data set that goes back to 1900. Russia has been called a couple other things other than Russia in that time span from now to back to 1900. Germany has been called a couple different things between now and 1900. Does your thing include South Sudan or not? All these questions. Yugoslavia is a thing, was a thing at one point and then became not a thing, right? So making sure, this isn't going to work if in this population data set, I have United States and then I have it called US here. And that's like, again, a really easy example. Well, then it's saying I have United States and USA. And when I try and full join it, it's including both, and the computer can't recognize that those are the same thing, right? Like I know it's the same thing and it's the same thing, but the computer doesn't recognize it unless I tell it to recognize it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that is kind of all I have. I think that's where we're gonna end this one. It's a short one. It's a cool 20 minutes. But that's kind of all I wanted to go through with this stuff. And I think this is important. And I think having a week and an assignment for it is important. So yeah, I think, and personally, I like how I set up that. And I think it's really concise and really clear. And I hope that you all agree. Yeah, so I'll be making an assignment tonight for this. I'll probably make it tonight after I finish my homework. So, yeah. Does anyone have any questions for me about all the merging stuff?
Can you double check that those are published, the supplement?
Yeah, I can double check. It might not be. That's a good point.
Yeah. Cool. Because that'll be helpful just going through it.
For sure. Oh, yeah, I didn't. Oh, yeah, duh. I'm sorry. I didn't publish that module. That's the problem here. I see what's going on. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Probably should have done that before. Yeah, my bad. Um, and I'm kind of ignoring a lot of the pre-made stuff that I just put in there, and I'm just kind of having you look at the stuff I make because I think my stuff's better. But you can feel free to look through the other materials there. Um, I think they can be helpful. Like the walkthroughs that are there. I did help make those a little bit, and all the data sets should be on there. So kind of do that at your own leisure. But I think to express the key concepts, I think that DM2 supplement is really helpful to look at. So yeah. Are there any questions? Any other questions?
Since we're ending class early, are you gonna keep the meeting open if we need help on something else?
Sure, I could do that.
What do you say?
Sure, I could do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, sweet. All right, if there are no other questions, I'm gonna call it there. So I will see
Quick-
y'all next week.
Will
Thank
we?
you.
I guess I have one quick question. Sorry, I was thinking about it.
No, you're good.
Well- You don't grade the homeworks, correct?
Correct. The TA, whoever the TA is for 301, grades them.
Okay, so do you think they'll give us like feedback? Maybe.
Well,
Like
I don't know
on.
if they will give you feedback. I can give you feedback if you so desire.
Okay.
And if you have any
Sounds
questions
good.
about like a past assignment, you could stick around here if you wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Sounds
I'm
good.
gonna.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stop recording now.